amniotes, descended from ancestral amniotes, carnivorous amniotes all features that share.
Amniotes share a number of new changes of the reproductive system. Unlike the amphibians depicted in these images, which need to reproduce in water and where fertilization occurs outside the body of the female, in amniotes, males possess a penis which introduces sperm inside the body of the female, allowing for internal fertilization. So this was a new development in amniotes. In addition, in male amniotes, there is an epididymis, corpora cavernosa of the penis, a glans penis, and the loss of Mullerian ducts. In female amniotes, the ovary joins the oviduct. A uterus and vagina form from specialized regions of the reproductive tract. A clitoris develops. Ova move through oviducts through ciliary action and muscle contraction. And a number of genes such as the anti-Mullerian hormone, DAX1, SF1, SOX9, and Wilms tumor 1 function in gender development. The respiratory systems of amniotes are so much more efficient than those of amphibians, and this would liberate the amniotes from needing to breathe through their skin. As a result, the skin could be covered by scales or eventually feathers and hair, and this would allow mammals the ability to adapt to new environments as well. The respiratory changes included the increase in the internal complexity of the lungs, the development of septa, which further divide the lungs, a longer trachea, which divides to form bronchi, and the lengthening of the ribs so that they contacted the sternum was important, because in amniotes, the muscles between the ribs, known as intercostal muscles, move the ribs, which creates the negative pressure which draws air into the lungs.
Not all of the cells of an embryo develop into the body of the embryo. Some form membranes around the embryo known as extraembryonic membranes, but they are made of the embryo's own cells. In addition to the ancestral yolk sac, the first amniotes evolved 3 additional extraembryonic membranes, which would allow them to reproduce on land instead of having the requirement of laying their eggs in the water. These membranes would include the amnion, which surround the embryo in a fluid, an amniotic fluid, a chorion, which performs gas exchange, and in some amniotes forms the fetal part of the placenta, and an allantois, which collects urinary wastes. So these 3 additional extraembryonic membranes, including the amnion, allow birds, reptiles, and mammals, which are classified together as amniotes, to reproduce on land.
Amniotes share many other features as well. There were a number of skull changes. The limb bones were lengthened, the vertebral column was strengthened, the nervous system became more complex, blood vessels were reorganized, cardiac output increased, the sinus venosus and truncus arteriosus of the heart were reduced, a common intrinsic conduction system of the heart was developed, ancestral teeth on the roof of the mouth were lost, parotid, sublingual, and submaxillary salivary glands evolved. Amylase, the enzyme, was released from these glands. Teeth were embedded in sockets with an additional layer of cementum which anchors them. The hyoid bone became more closely associated with the larynx and was positioned more caudally. The lymphatic system evolved interferons. The renal corpuscle of kidneys reduced its size, and the metanephros became the primary kidney used in amniotes.